Welcome back to my channel, Psychic Medium Jennifer Hall here. Thanks for joining me. Today we're talking about automatic writing. And I wanted to share this with you. This was a question that I got from a very good friend of mine. And I wanted to share the process, how to prepare for automatic writing, what that even means, what it's used for, and how you can bring that into your life for healing and to communicate with your inner being and spirit and just to feel a little bit more grounded when it comes to knowing which path to take. So if that interests you, stick around with me. We're going to get right to it.
Welcome to Spirit Speaks with Psychic Medium Jennifer Hall.
So first, I just want to kind of touch on why you would want to do automatic writing, what it really is, and then we're going to get into kind of the step-by-step process. So first and foremost, I think that automatic writing is an incredible tool. Again, something to have in your back pocket for when you're feeling stressed, maybe when you need a little bit of healing, when you need some introspection, when you just need to go within and kind of figure some things out. And let's be serious, who doesn't need more of that in their life? This can be a really kind of cool way of, like I would say, just kind of diving deep and getting to know yourself. So it can be used obviously as a healing tool. You can use it to de-stress. You can use it, I highly recommend using it at the very end of the day. Obviously it's beneficial anytime that you want to sit down and do this process. But at the end of the day, sometimes we just need to get stuff out and we need to kind of process our day and maybe kind of see where we're heading in the next day. And being able to sleep at night, sometimes we rely on processes like this in order to really just quiet that chatter and get everything out. So automatic writing can be used as kind of a de-stressor, a bit of a healing tool. It can also be used to kind of bridge the gap between you and spirit. So communicating with your spirit guides and your angels, or even more importantly, your inner being, so your highest, most divine self. You can use it to communicate with your loved ones on the other side, or even source energy or God energy, sort of that big creator energy, to just sort of see where you stand right now. If you're looking for guidance, or if you're just looking to connect, if you're just looking for some peace of mind or some clarity, this is a really cool way of getting there. So obviously just a really good tool to be aware of and to maybe practice with and try it out, see if it resonates with you, because it can be super helpful in your life to help you kind of feel that balance and clarity, but it can also really kind of give you a little bit of a stepping stone to communicating with spirit. And before you start this process, I have a few little things that I would love for you to know. That would be, you need to be patient with yourself. Because out of, I think, all of the tools that I've offered so far, this one might be one of the trickier ones. So kind of along the same lines as meditation. If you struggle with meditation, this might be kind of tricky for you as well, but it is so powerful and so amazing. So please, please, please just be patient and don't give up. Keep trying if it feels frustrating, or if you're feeling like, oh, I'm not getting anything, or I don't even understand how this process works. Just keep trying, because it really is a beautiful tool to have. So really just kind of coming into this process a little bit relaxed, and make sure, of course, with anything that I always recommend when you're, looking to kind of do some healing work or some spiritual work, please, please, please go into this with a high vibration. So, but basically just, have fun with it. And like any other kind of tool out there, this can be such a good way to get to know yourself and get to know your inner being and the spirit world around you. So I just want to also add that you're going to want to have your paper and pen in front of you when you're doing all of these processes, because once you're kind of in the zone, you don't want to have to get up and run and grab that paper and pen. So step-by-step process, let's break it down. You're going to sit down, you're going to do some automatic writing. What does that look like? How do you start? I've already said it. First thing to do, step number one, raise your vibration. And if you need help with this, if you feel like as if this is something that really resonates with you, you want to understand it more, you want to know what my vibration is, all that kind of stuff, I've created this incredible course for you. Head on over to my website. You'll find the courses, www.jenniferhall.ca. And the course is there. It's Raise Your Vibration course. It's all about how to live a happier, more balanced life. So if you need help, I also have some videos touching on sort of how to raise your vibration and what that looks like. But it basically means do anything that makes you feel good. So please try to come at something like automatic writing or even meditation, try coming at it with a little bit of a higher vibration. So when we come into activities like this or processes like this and we're already feeling kind of down, or we're already feeling a bit frustrated or angry, it's going to make the process so much more difficult, and there's going to be resistance. So it's super natural for us to feel resistance in a process like this. Anything that has to do with healing or going within and speaking your truth, it's just, you're going to meet resistance. But it's so much easier to power through that resistance or sort of let that go when your vibration is at a place already that is a little bit lighter, that's a little bit higher than, kind of something like frustration or anger or feeling a little bit lost. So I just highly recommend that when you're going to try this, especially if you're going to try it for a first time, try to come at it on a day where you feel pretty good, where you feel kind of happy and you're kind of eager and excited to try this new thing. So step number 2, I would say I highly recommend set the stage. So this is something that kind of compares, in my opinion, to meditation. And if you're going to meditate, you're going to want to be in a very quiet place and a very kind of serene place, somewhere that relaxes you. So I highly recommend that you do the same thing with this process with automatic writing. Set the stage. Go somewhere quiet. Maybe find somewhere quiet in your home or in your bedroom or whatever. But basically, just find somewhere where you're not going to be interrupted. And set the stage. Make yourself feel relaxed. So for me, I would do this process obviously in my reading room or my meditation room, where I'm surrounded by dim lighting and some candles, maybe some incense. And maybe I would smudge a little bit before just to kind of clear the air and feel very cleansing in that space. I would probably put on some quiet music, maybe ocean waves or something like that. But basically, I would kind of surround myself and surround my senses and really kind of heighten my senses with things that make me feel good. Step number 3 is to really kind of turn your attention, turn your focus inwards. And what that means is, I usually say this and I use these words when it comes to meditation a lot. You're basically going to focus where you're at right there. So you're going to focus on the room. You're going to focus on yourself, on your body, and just kind of focus on your breath, or maybe even close your eyes and take a couple of nice big deep belly breaths and just relax and bring your attention away from the world around you, away from the day that you've had so far, and just be in that moment. Next, you are going to sort of set an intention or even say an invocation. And for me, I'm usually calling upon my spirit guides, my angels, definitely my inner being, sometimes my loved ones on the other side, and source energy, creator energy, universal consciousness, all of that good stuff, whoever, whatever I feel guided towards in that moment. So you get to choose what that looks like. Obviously, there's no right or wrong when it comes to setting an intention or an invocation. You might choose to just sit and just, you might not really know who you want to connect with. I highly recommend, if you're in that spot, just connect with your inner being, your soul self. So your higher self, that consciousness of you that knows all and knows so much more than this body self and this mind self that, we believe ourselves to be. So set the stage. Kind of create a bit of an intention, know why you're doing this. Maybe it's just to connect, maybe it's to feel a little bit of guidance, to get some specific guidance, and maybe it's just to relax, maybe it's to heal, maybe it's to kind of get some insight on the patterns in your life, whatever. That's just sort of what that next step is. That is just to call in your guides, call in your angels, basically set the stage with whoever it is that you're wanting to communicate with, whether that's your inner being or an outside spirit source. You get to decide. So now we get to the good stuff. You get to ask the question. So ask the question or the questions, or just for some general guidance, or whatever that looks like for you. So whatever your intention is, create a question around it, create a conversation around it so that you have something to write about. I would say that, try and keep your questions pretty positive and kind of like perspective questions. So as an example, if you're wanting to know about maybe some guidance in your job, and maybe you're not sure if you should stay at your job, I would say try and word it. So instead of saying, should I quit my job? It's not that that's negative necessarily, but it's kind of not, it's sort of a yes or no question. And you might get a little bit confused with whether or not you're hearing properly. I would say get the messages flowing by asking kind of open-ended questions. So instead of should I quit my job, or should I take this promotion, or whatever the question is, maybe word it like, why am I feeling so unhappy in my job right now? Or why am I meeting so much resistance at work? Or why am I not getting along with my coworkers? Or kind of ask kind of these why questions rather than sort of the yes or no's. The reason why I feel like that this works is because, like I said, it kind of opens a conversation. And what you're going to do next is you're literally just going to listen. You're just going to sit and you're going to listen, and you're going to then write down every single thought that comes to you. Because when you're doing automatic writing, it's not like you're hearing someone else's voice talk to you. You might, but that's not super common. So you're going to hear the thoughts and the feelings that come up within you. That's what you're going to be writing. And you're not going to stop. You're just going to keep going. You're not going to stop to reread it or to proofread it or anything like that. You're going to go back and do that later. But this is that next step. After you've asked the question, your only job is to just sort of sit, listen, and write down all of the things that you feel, see, sense, and hear. And when I say hear, I mean mostly what thoughts are coming to you. So it could be, just memories that pop up that spirit might kind of guide you towards, or you might literally get pure guidance from them. If you're not really getting anything, because this sometimes happens, just be patient. Just keep sitting, keep listening, and just sit in the beautiful silence and, listen to the music that you have on, or just kind of appreciate the quiet that you're creating for yourself. Or you can also just start journaling and just start saying why you think maybe, that's the answer to the question, or why you think that maybe you're not enjoying work so much, or you're creating some resistance with people around you, or whatever. So if it starts that way, basically you've already opened the energies. So it's spirit's job to kind of come in, and they do that immediately, automatically. So when we're doing automatic writing, that's them. They're there right off the bat as soon as you set the intention, as soon as you ask them to. But what you need to do is just sort of relax into it and not resist, and just listen and write down everything. It's not your job to filter out what you think might be just your own thought, what you think might be something that you've made up. Don't even worry about that, even if it is, but just write it out. Write everything out. And then what's really cool is that when you're done, you can go back and look at it after. And then the last step, obviously, which I recommend every time that you're doing something that has to do with you diving a bit deep and getting to know yourself and getting to know the spirit world around you, is extend a little bit of gratitude and thank yourself. Truly be positive about it, no matter how many pages you wrote out or how many words. If it's even just a few words, just be grateful to yourself. Give yourself a little bit of a thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule, out of your day, to really kind of get to know yourself, or to try and connect with spirit. And the next time that you try this, I promise it'll be easier, and it gets just more simple and more simple to make those connections and to get into that place of listening so much quicker. So just extend some gratitude towards yourself, a little bit more patience maybe, and of course, thank your inner being, thank God, thank your spirits around you, whoever you're chatting with. Make sure that you're sending some gratitude to them as well. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate you guys more than you know. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing below. Click that notification button so that you can be notified when I release new videos every single Tuesday. Love you guys.